Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And that's why we're excited to be talking about United Way of Greater Nashville. We're honored to have with us Erica Mitchell, Executive Vice President and Chief Impact Officer, CEO-elect. We'll talk all about that exciting news, along with Alberto Gonzales, former Attorney General of the U.S., United Way of Greater Nashville Board Chair, and the Dean of Belmont Law School. How are you two doing?
Good morning, Jeremy. Doing well. Thanks for having us. I'm really excited to be here.
Jeremy, it's always a pleasure to communicate with the individuals here in Greater Middle Tennessee, and we're delighted to have the opportunity to talk about a project that is very, very important to me, which, of course, is the work of United Way.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive in deep, and let's start. Hopefully everyone knows and, has heard of United Way of Greater Nashville, but let's go ahead and dive in. Erica, give us some background, talk about a little bit of the history and the mission for United Way of Greater Nashville.
Sure. The mission of United Way is pretty straightforward. It is to unite the community and mobilize resources so that everyone thrives, every child, every individual, every family. We are a 100-year-old organization that has been working across the areas of education, financial stability, health, and basic needs for many, many years. And we do that by funding excellent nonprofit organizations, as well as bringing a number of organizations together across sectors to work on hard projects together.
When you look at the intersection of working with the community, in the community, with the nonprofits, it's a lot of collaboration. And when you look at the different areas of service, working with youth, all the different community needs, poverty fighting, there's a lot to unpack. Go ahead and dive in a little bit deeper on that intersection, the collaboration, and how you work with the different entities to be able to do what you do.
Sure. What I'm reminded of is, I believe, is if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And we have found that just increasingly that you can do a lot as an individual organization, but the true impact in terms of being able to serve not only the Nashville area, but really the region, it's about bringing multiple organizations together. It is multi-sector, so it's nonprofit, it's government, it's for-profit. And we have found that increasingly in the work that if we want to go deeper, really leverage what other nonprofit organizations or other organizations in general, what they're bringing to the table, really leverage what I'll call group genius. That is, the power is in collaboration for sure.
One more, and then we'll switch over to Alberto. Talk about your role in January 1st, shifting over to being CEO.
So excited to be in a position to assume the role of CEO on January 1, 2025. I've been with the organization for about 13 years, and just for fun, I thought I would be here for about 2. My idea was I would come to United Way, learn a little bit about the community, and probably move on to the next. But the truth is, I found something I really loved, and that is you've got this really interesting intersection. It's nonprofit, it's government, it is for-profit, and then you have a community that needs services. And so many people who are very much interested in diving in and helping to bring the services to the community, but to solve for really hard problems. So I've just found something that I loved, and so I am more than delighted to be able to step into the role January 1. Really excited about what the possibilities are for the Nashville area as well as for the region.
So we're talking obviously about the intersection, government, private, public. Alberto, this plays right in your wheelhouse when you look at breaking the cycle of poverty, giving kids an equal chance, building strong, healthy communities, meeting our neighbors' basic needs, the pillars. Go ahead and dive in. For you being board chair, what attracted you? What are you excited about with United Way of Greater Nashville?
Well, I'm in a profession whose mission, partly as a lawyer, is to serve the community. And so throughout my legal career, I've looked for opportunities to do that beyond my professional work. I became acquainted with United Way when I lived in Houston. many, many years ago, was on the board there. And so it was natural when I came to Nashville in 2011 and looked at opportunities to serve the community. The United Way was at the top of the list, and so I was fortunate enough to get on the board. I am the chair this year of a group of individuals that are leaders in various professions, leaders of law firms, leaders of educational institutions. And so we're working together, working with a great staff. It's been a very easy year as chair, quite frankly, because the organization basically runs itself because of the great staff and the leadership at the staff level that we have. But we do make a difference. I've seen the difference being made by the volunteers and the resources and assets that the United Way puts out into the community to help people in need. We have a great, great community, people of great heart, a commitment to serve others, and it really has been a fun year for me as chair. And I'm really looking forward to next year. Ryan Hassett, our outgoing chair, has been a wonderful chair. And I think he's leaving the organization in a great place for another talented individual to step in and hopefully move the United Way to even greater heights.
When you look at the different programs, Erica, let's bounce back to you. We'll touch on disaster response being a piece, Hands on Nashville being some exciting news as well. Go ahead and dive in, because as I alluded to, and you did too, breaking the cycle of poverty, giving kids an equal chance, building strong, healthy communities, meeting our neighbors' basic needs. You have some very key strategic items and focus areas, but dive in a little deeper on the programmatic piece that brings all this to life.
Sure. So let me talk a little bit just about, so we started as Davidson County only. And over the last 5 years, Brian has done a tremendous job just in bringing together, we've merged with a number of outlying United Ways in various counties. But I'll say our most unique merger was in January of this year when we merged with Hands on Nashville. And we have volunteerism, that's part of our mantra, volunteer, advocate, give. So we've always provided on-ramps for volunteering, but now we have that expertise in-house. I think the biggest difference for us, you merge with United Ways, that feels very familiar. That's our wheelhouse. That's what we know. We know volunteerism to a certain extent, but what we didn't realize was when we joined hands with Hands on Nashville, how critically important that was going to be in the disaster recovery space. So if you go back to December 9, for example, when the tornadoes touched down in Davidson County and significantly in Clarksville, the Montgomery County area, we have been accustomed, if you think about a concentric circle, and you've got that disaster happening in the center, we're kind of one of those outlying rings where we are receiving funds, donations in, and we're putting those out into nonprofits that are serving on the front lines. With the merger with Hands On, we became a frontline organization. So we're getting calls the day after the tornado because now we're waiting to hear when the power lines are not active any longer, and we can get out into the community and canvass and clear trees from the roofs of homes. And it's very much, as the name would imply, hands-on. So we're serving in both, I'll say that kind of first response or early response, along with still providing funding going out into the community. It's really a demonstration of the true power of collaboration, I'll say as well. So not only United Way and Hands On working together, but also working with an excellent coalition of partners called VOAD, which is Volunteer Organizations Active in Disaster. So we're grateful for that, grateful to have that capacity now in-house, and really beginning to wrangle some, I'll say it's not new work to us in terms of being part of the disaster recovery space, but it's new in the way that we're showing up.
Alberto, switching back to you, talk about what the growth means in terms of exciting new opportunities to make an impact.
Well, growth is a double-edged sword in terms of obviously it increases the reputation of the area, hopefully brings in new business, but it also means the growth of people that need help, quite frankly, exists here in this community. And it continues to grow in terms of the number of people that require help. And so I think in the future, it's going to present greater opportunities, unfortunately, but greater opportunities for the United Way to be more of a central figure in families living a better life in this community. And it's starting, as Erica said, starting with providing resources to young kids. I had the opportunity to go to an elementary school earlier this year, first day of school, stuffed the bus and greet students coming to school, giving them backpacks that they would not normally have. But the United Way is there to do that, and we're able to do that because of the help of organizations like the Titans and Bridgestone and organizations like that. So I think, with every growing community, there are going to be growing needs, and the United Way, I think, is in a great position to help meet those needs. Obviously, our success in doing so depends a great deal upon the generosity of organizations, of companies in the area. But we have found that companies, organizations, financial institutions, educational institutions all have a giving heart, and they are very, very committed to help those in need and are willing to provide their resources and their assets through the United Way.
So, Erica, let's carry that into how can the community support United Way of Greater Nashville? Because, as Alberto was talking about, you've got the corporate support, you've got individual donor support. As you mentioned with Hands on Nashville, you've got the physical engagement now serving on the front lines. And to your point, that is a big shift. I mean, being able to literally now be a first responder in terms of a disaster and stepping in and fulfilling that need. But that's also an exciting opportunity to serve in a greater way. And so talk about how the community can support your efforts.
So as I was saying earlier, the mantra, if you will, of United Way is volunteer, advocate, give. And we think that's so important because we feel that if you are volunteering and getting your hands into the work and understanding more about it, it creates advocates for the work and the importance of what it means to support folks who don't have as much or some of the odds are stacked against. But if you're volunteering and then you become an advocate, we think that compels folks to also want to give financially or to give of their time, additional resources. So I think that is really, that's the trajectory, that's kind of the pattern, volunteer, advocate, give. You can start in any part of that. If you want to start on the give, you can start there. If you want to be an advocate for the work, you can start there. But certainly I think that volunteering is a tremendous on-ramp just to become familiar with what we're doing, become familiar with what's happening in the community and how you can contribute and really be a part of, I'll say, the fabric of a community that works together to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to thrive. So I would encourage people to start there, volunteering.
Alberto, offer your words of encouragement, especially for volunteering, as you mentioned, personally serving and seeing the impact firsthand, especially when it comes to serving in the schools. But talk about your words of encouragement for corporations and individuals to get involved and support the efforts of United Way of Greater Nashville.
Yeah, I think corporations, they're in the business of making money to be successful. But that requires a healthy community, quite frankly. And so they have a vested interest in having a healthy community. And so not only is it good business, but I think many of the leadership of the major businesses here and institutions here understand it's the right thing to do. People of good heart, they understand that there are needs here, and so they're willing to step up. And so for me, it's been extremely gratifying. It's been an extremely gratifying year to work with a great staff and to see how successful, how impactful organizations like the United Way are in this community.
Erica, wrap up with website, social media. Where do we go to learn more? Where do we go to carry this conversation forward with United Way of Greater Nashville?
Come visit us at our website, unitedwaygreaternashville.org. There's information there that you can learn about what we do as an organization, how you can get involved. There are on-ramps there, again, for volunteering, if you want to advocate, if you want to contribute financially. But definitely come visit us on the website. We would love for you to come and be a part.
Well, make sure everyone get involved. United Way of Greater Nashville, so many opportunities to serve and give back. So Erica Mitchell and Alberto Gonzales, thank you for all you and your amazing team do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.